Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in another learning series. This is Give Her, where we have our community members come back to the community to share ideas on areas where they are specialists. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This evening, we're going to be learning on something so interesting. As you know, the matter of finance is one that concerns everyone, career, business, and whoever. And so this evening, we're going to be having Audrey. I'm going to be bringing her up the stage so that we can get right into it without further ado. Welcome, Audrey.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you
you.
for joining us. We're excited to have you on today's session. So, quickly, can we get to meet you?
Okay, great. Yeah, so my
A
name is
brief.
Odiria Kasambala from Dola. I hold a bachelor's degree in mathematics education and a master's in business administration finance. I'm currently doing my PhD in management, business and management, and I want to major in banking and finance. Then I work for a faith-based NGO where I'm managing a savings group program. Yeah, that's me coming
Wow,
from
that's
Zambia,
massive.
Dola.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. It's good to have you. All
Thank you so
right,
much.
so I think this is where we now dive into it. So what do you have for us today? I can see your topic is about savings, so we're excited to listen to you already.
Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, sure. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. It's 6 p.m. here in Zambia. Yes, and so today I'm just going to be sharing simple financial growth strategies, and I'm going to be sharing simple practical strategies for managing our money wisely. Yes, thank you. Next slide. Okay, yeah. So as I warm up, even as we start our discussion, I would like for you to just take a minute to take stock of your finances. And by this, I mean I just want you to have a look at your finances and determine your net worth. I know we don't have much time for you to have like an exact value of how much you are worth, but I would like for you to have an idea of where you are at. Are you in positives or are you in negatives? So for the net worth, the mathematics here is simple. You just have to calculate all your assets, all your liabilities, and then subtract and see the value that you're going to get. So for assets, it's things that you own, like cash, lands, vehicles, maybe stocks, government securities like bonds, treasury bills. Yes, then for liabilities, it is all the debts you have, all the monies that you're supposed to pay people that you are owing them. And for assets, it's okay for now to add your weeks since there's a value that you can attach to them, and just see where you are at. Are you in negatives or in positives? Yeah, so we can take some time alone just to do that and assess yourself and see where you are going. Next slide, please. Okay, so my presentation will be based more on the savings part. And so savings is not just an art, it's more than just a number, it is an art. And saving isn't just about accumulating money, it's about understanding your financial landscape and nurturing your financial well-being. So by you understanding your financial landscape, you need to know your income. How much do you earn? How much are your expenses? How much debt do you have? Yes, so that you nurture your financial well-being. And by well-being, it's just your security, your financial stability, so that in the end, you have a peace of mind. And since we're talking about money, you may have to ask your question, why do you need or have money? Why do you need it? So the thing is, if you do not know why you need money or have money, you are likely to mismanage it. And by this, it's important that you attach a purpose to the money that you have or the money that you need, so that you don't mismanage it once it comes in. So ask yourself a question so that you're able to attach a purpose or a reason to the money that you're expecting, the money that you need, or the money that you already have. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to share 5 pillars of saving. The first one is awareness. What do we mean by awareness? So awareness here, we just simply mean know your income and expenses. How do you know your income and your expenses? You have to track your spending for a week or two in order for you to understand where your money is going. And if possible, you need to assess where or which areas you need to cut back on your spending. So the danger with you not knowing your income and your expenses is that you might be spending more, saving less, or investing more, and then spending less on things that you really need most. So it's important for you to be aware of your money, where your money is coming in, how much is coming in, and the expenses that you have or you need to spend on. Then the second pillar is planning. What do you mean by planning? You need to set you need to set clear saving goals. What goals are these? It might be a goal to maybe buy a car, start a business, or even your retirement. Yes, so a precise plan makes your journey feel less stressful. So you need to have a plan so that you know where to channel your funds. You need to know why you need money and where that money is supposed to go. Just like I shared in the previous slide, where you need to attach a purpose to the money that you have or need. Then the third pillar is discipline. Discipline, here we can establish a savings routine. So here by saving, we don't mean huge sums of money. You can save as little as $1 per week, $2, depending on your income. So as long as you're depositing that or saving that consistently, to make a significant difference. And I don't know about where you are, but where possible, it's important that you set an automatic transfer to a savings account from your main account. And if you have access to a saving group where you are, it's important for you to join that so that you are disciplined enough to be saving money consistently. And by the way, you don't just join any saving group. Make sure you save with a group that is reliable, that has trust worthy people. And that way, you'll be able to manage your money by saving consistently, either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Then the fourth pillar is mindfulness. Here, you need to learn to manage impulse purchases and resist unnecessary spending. I know this is tough, but what we need to know is for us to know, to be aware, and that is the key. And the question you need to ask yourself is, do I really need this? Do I need this? Can I do without this thing? Yeah, so that's what you are supposed to do. At least know, be aware. Then the last pillar here is flexibility. We know that life happens, and when it happens, you can't continue on the same trajectory. So be flexible enough, be adaptable, and don't be afraid to change your strategy when necessary. And here we do not just mean being flexible on negative things, but you can also be flexible, say when you get a pay rise during the week, during the year, sorry. Yeah, so let's say if you set your savings at $100 and then you get a pay rise, it's okay to adjust that maybe to 120, 150, depending on the money that you have. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm now going to dive into the practical saving strategies that you can adopt. And here I'm going to share the 50, 30, 20% rule. So here, if you are a believer like me and you believe in tithing, when you get the money that you receive, let me say your income, it could be your salary or your profits from the business. When you tithe, whatever remains, you have to portion it into 50, 30, and 20. So here it is just a simple framework to allow you to allocate your income. And how it works is that 50% of your money that you have is supposed to go towards addressing needs or meeting your needs, the things that you cannot do without. This could be maybe rentals, food. Then 30% goes for wants, those things that maybe it could include entertainment, travel, and other things. Then 20% needs to go towards your savings or debt repayment. And we are considering paying or repaying our debt so that we increase or improve our net worth. Like I said, net worth is equal to assets minus liabilities. And so the more money or the more liabilities, more debt you have, then the net worth is small, or maybe you might find yourself in negative. So it's important that you pay your debt or you increase your savings. So that's how it works. Yes, then the other strategy you can use is the envelope system. So here you just allocate cash to different categories, maybe groceries, entertainment, transport, and all those things that you need in envelopes. And these uh, envelopes are good because they are great for visualization and just giving you access or easy way for you to look at where your money goes so that you avoid overspending. And if you can't afford like physical envelopes, you can have maybe different accounts. If you have mobile money, maybe you can have uh, certain amount in mobile money for something, then in the bank account for something. Yes, just so you're able to manage your money to avoid overspending. Then the pay yourself first method. Here, even when we're looking at the 50, 30, 20%, we're not saying the 20 is supposed to be the last thing to do. No, you have to first remove your 20% because that's your pay. That's something that you are guaranteed as your pay. So you have to save first. That 20% is supposed to be a priority. You are supposed to channel that before expenses. So there are people who say, I will save from what will remain after I sort out my bills and all, but no, that is supposed to be done first. Then the other practical strategies, they're not spending challenges. So you can challenge yourself to go without certain expenses for a set period of time. An example I have there is maybe not take out for a month. Yeah. And so this just highlights areas where you might be overspending unintentional. Yes, so sometimes maybe you have a habit of like eating out if often, so maybe you can just challenge yourself to not take out for a month, and trust me, you'll see that you will have great savings from such activities. Next slide, please. Okay, and so like you saw in the beginning of the slides, there was a plant that was being watered. So we're just trying to refer the saving practice to a garden. So the first thing that you are supposed to consider whenever you want to grow something, what the first thing we do is plant, we cultivate, then we nurture. So even with our finances, it's important that even as we are saving, even as we are going about our monthly, weekly, daily lives, we need to plant seeds of security by building an emergency fund. And so here, the finance experts suggest that you need to have at least 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in an emergency fund. What does this do? This offers peace of mind and prevents you from falling into debt. Suppose you lost your job today. What would happen to you in the next 3 to 6 months as you look for another job? So it's important that you at least have an emergency fund that is equivalent to 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. The other thing is cultivating future opportunities. How do you do that? Like we said, we need to have a purpose, we need to have a plan of what we want to do. So, what we're supposed to do is that break down large goals into smaller, achievable steps. So, sometimes it might the goal that you might want to achieve or that you set might seem so big that you even lose hope and just give up. But what you're supposed to do is that you have to break down those large goals into smaller ones. And the first thing that you're supposed to do is to start by calculating how much you need. If you find you need 1,000, let's say $1,000, then you can break that down into small monthly or weekly contributions to make towards that large target that you may have. Then the other thing that you need to do is to nurture your financial well-being. We know that saving is a journey and not a destination. It's about creating good habits and embracing long-term growth. So in savings groups usually save for 6 to 12 months, and for some people, the 12 months seems to be very long. But we are not supposed to give up. We are supposed to understand that it is a journey that we need. And the art of saving is about cultivating your finances thoughtfully, just like a skilled gardener cultivates a beautiful garden. Next slide, please. Okay, so even as we close, I know we have people into formal employment who are their own managers, CEOs. They're running their own things, but sometimes you get to be so busy, so carried away with current needs or expenses, things, but you are also supposed to have a plan for your retirement. How will 50, 20, 15 years look like from today? Do you have a plan for your future? What's going to happen when you no longer have strength to manage that business? What is your plan? Yes, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Audra. I don't know. Your name. Did I pronounce it correctly?
It's Odiria.
Nigeria. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. For audience, if you have questions, please you can send them in on the chat box. She will see it and then react to it. So my question is, this problem of saving, because most times usually what we do is
Mm-hmm.
you do everything you want to do, and then when you have some change, you now say, oh, let me save that. Is there
Mm-hmm.
a way that somebody can really be disciplined about saving? Like, what do you recommend? Do you recommend them removing a certain percentage so that they can be, because people earn differently. So for someone who doesn't earn much, what would you
Mm-hmm.
recommend for them to do to just to ensure that at least they have a saving at the end of each month or at the end of each payday?
Thank you for that question. A rule we just looked at, you are supposed to save about 20% of your income or the money that you have at the end of a period, or that's the money you're supposed to calculate from your earning. And so one practical way you can do that is by setting an automatic deduction from your bank account to a different savings account. That way you have no control of or you want to be able to postpone your saving to be automatic. The bank will be deducting a certain percentage you instruct them to do for you, so it won't be a problem really for you to save. I think that's one of the best ways I've heard or have experience with. Yeah, I think that's one way. Then the other practical way I shared is by joining a savings group. You can form a savings group with your colleagues or even your family. That way you'll be forced to save, because you formulate policies or rules together as a group, so it will be easy for you to at least save with a group. You'll be having constant reminders, and others even charge penalties whenever you miss a saving payment. So those two ways, I think for me works well.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I see. I love the first option, automatic deduction. Like you don't have a sale as it comes, the bank removes and channels it
Yes.
to the other account, and then it's just there waiting, breathing fine for you. All right. So my next question is
Mm-hmm.
regarding balance. For example,
Regarding.
someone who regarding balance, how to balance saving and
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. I'm going to explain. For example, someone who you love enjoyment and all of the stuff. How do you balance it? Because sometimes you get to that point where you, for a very long time, you don't treat yourself nice. You feel, oh, I've got to save, I've got to save, and then you keep neglecting yourself. You don't do your
Yeah.
skincare, or you begin to cut down on certain things that matter to you. So what do you suggest? How do you think we can balance this such that you're living the soft life that you want to live,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are also saving as well?
All right, thank you. So I'll still take you back to the 50-30% rule. So let me just repeat. The 50 meets your needs, the daily needs, the things that you need on a daily basis. Then the 30% goes towards wants. And in those wants, which is the 30%, that's where entertainment, leisure falls under. So you can still treat yourself to that. And if it is not enough, it's okay to save or to have a plan to save towards a luxury or maybe an outing or something. Yes, so you can plan to save something separate just towards that. And you have to subtract that money from the 30% of your income. Yes, maybe you can do maybe from the 30% that you're supposed to do towards the ones, you can apportion a 5-10% towards entertainment. And if you want to have like a big outing, you can still save for that from the 30%. Yeah, that's my take.
Okay, I understand that perfectly. So this 50-30%, it can be, for certain people it can sound so big. So is it,
Mm-hmm.
how do you suggest they do it? Is it they get maybe from today? I want us to be practical. Let's say from
Yes.
today now, they know their
Uh-huh.
savings, and then they decide to calculate, okay, what is 50% of my saving? They note it down. What is 30%? They note it down. How do you think they can do it so that it's easier for them?
Come again.
Okay, I mean, when you say 50-30%,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody may understand that. So I just want to know how,
Ah,
is
okay,
there
okay.
like,
Let me.
okay, I think you get it now.
Yes, I get it. Okay, let me give a practical example. Say you have I'll use a common currency. Say you have $1,000 as your income or as the money that you have currently to spend. So what you're supposed to do is that $500 is supposed to address or meet your needs. Then $300 is supposed to address your wants. Then the $200, that's the amount you save or you use to repay debt. I hope that helps.
Perfect.
Yes, so
Perfect.
just cut half of what you have goes towards your needs.
Neat.
Then the remaining 50, 30 wants, and then 20 savings.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's talk
You're
about
welcome.
saving groups now. There are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of saving groups, yes. And in as much they are good,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes negative things happen. You hear things like the person collecting the money has suddenly disappeared. So I just wanted to maybe throw some
Yeah.
caution in the air. Do you have safety measures you can advise our audience this evening that they can take while they are getting connected to some of these savings groups so that their money don't just go away like that?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So for savings groups, you have to usually people get join savings groups through recommendation. So you have to make sure that a trusted friend is the one who introduces you to a group, or you join a group where your trusted friends is. And so what usually happens is that the savings groups formulate their own rules and policies. And one of the rules or the recommendation that is there when it comes to issuing out loans is that you are supposed to get a loan of something equivalent to what you have saved or two times what you have saved. That way, you want in case life happens, in case someone fails to repay, the group won't lose much money. Then the other thing is that when you are keeping the money, so most groups usually like putting their monies in cash boxes, like metallic boxes. And what happens is when a person is keeping that box, the keys are kept by three different people in different allocations. And if they're putting their monies in a bank account, that bank account needs to have like three signatories. And you're supposed to have these people from different locations so that it is very difficult for them for them to connive and, yeah, get your money. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing that can help you is maybe just you making sure that you join a group where you have trustworthy people. Otherwise, if you join anyhow, people will eat your money. And just make sure that you start with the group so that you participate in the group rule formulation so that you understand the things that happen in the group, and also be able to recommend some of the best practices, like not getting too much in form of loans. Yeah, so that way we reduce on the risk of losing money. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The last thing I want you to talk about is on wise spending. Spending wisely, you agree with me that is something that not everybody knows how to spend wise
Mm-hmm.
actually, because there are cases where you keep spending and you keep spending, and then all of a sudden the money is nowhere, and then you have to come back and start writing your list one by one to see how you have actually spent the money. And then you are thinking that maybe 10% was misplaced or someone stole it, but after writing those lists you now discover that you actually did the spending. So I can you talk briefly to our audience this evening about why spending? Most of us in this in fact, all of us in this community are women. We love clothes, we
Mm-hmm.
love shoes, we love hair. So how can we spend our money wisely so that we don't just blow up our finances on these good things of life and forget that we have to save?
Okay. All right. So like I mentioned, saving is supposed to be your priority. You're not supposed to spend to save on the remainders, on the money that is left after everything. So the first thing you're supposed to do when you get your money, you remove the money for saving. And we've discussed that the easy way to do that is by automating your savings through the bank. So you have to make sure that you save first before spending. Then after that, you uh, look at the needs. You pay the important bills that you need to. Then from the 30% that remains, that's where you can now um, do the luxury things. You spoil yourself a bit and all, but the emphasis on you saving first. No matter what, save first, then the rest afterwards.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So we've been talking to Odiria, and she has been teaching us about how to save. In fact, if you didn't get anything from this session today, please, one thing you should go home with is that saving comes first. Saving is not that change that is remaining after going to the market and then you just save it. It is something, saving has to be intentional, like I've learned from her this evening. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
intentional. It's something that when you bring home your salary, you remove it first before you start paying the bills, and then you start going out and treating yourself nice and buying all the beautiful things of life that you want to buy. So thank you so much, Odiria. Finally, on this issue of retirement plan, it's actually
Mm-hmm.
something that never really crosses our minds. For example, as young people, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I don't know the last time it crossed my mind like retirement plan. I feel like there's still time, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you advise for young people like us? What would you advise? Do you think they should open an account they may not have access to, and
Mm-hmm.
plan their retirement there? Or are there other ways that this can be done so that it doesn't take us unaware? Because life is fast. One moment you are young, the next you are getting old and thinking about retirement. So it's very
Yeah.
necessary. So what would you advise as a final note to us tonight?
All right. Thank you so much for that lovely question. So, like you said, you can save through having a restricted savings account, but you can also save through buying government securities, and by that I mean bonds. So we know that bonds or government securities are one of the safest investments that an individual can make. So I don't know about other countries, but in Zambia, the longest is 15 years. So you can schedule those. And by scheduling, I mean you buy a bond for 15 years, say this year or this month. If you have enough money, you save after a month or every other month. Or maybe if you can afford, maybe twice a month, so that by the time you're retiring, you have bonds that will be maturing every 15 years, and that way you'll be assured of getting something. But also the other thing that you can do if you have enough finances is by investing in real estate. You can have maybe a block of flats built, so that you put those on rent, and that way you keep on uh having income. Even when you have retired, you still have like some money coming in from that. I don't think these are the practical and safe ways we can plan our retirement. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dear. This was a wonderful session. I like the fact that it's reshaping mindset, especially about saving. As a young person, you don't really have to wait for when you are 50 before you start thinking, oh, there's retirement. It's something you can even start planning. It's intentionality. So yes, I can see that you may enjoyed your session. You have beautiful emoji reactions from them in the comment section. Yeah, we are
Thank
grateful for having you. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so this is where we will wrap up. It has been a wonderful session, and this is Give Her series, and it is officially ending today. For the month of May, we'll bring you more series subsequently. And until we come your way next time, stay amazing. Have a lovely evening and a wonderful weekend. Bye. Bye, Audrey.
thank you so much. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.